sometimes discussion at board meetings goes on and on and on, and you're not getting anywhere. You're having this back and forth discussion, pros and cons are coming back and forth, and it's like, when is this discussion going to end? How do we close it? You close it by making the motion to get the action taken. So now, the way Robert's Rules of Order says to do it, you don't even talk about it until the motion's on the table. And what that does, by the way, if you run your meeting this way, it's kind of nice because Mrs. Board Member comes up and says, I'd like to make a motion that we serve coffee at the meeting. And then the room goes silent. Nobody seconds the motion. It dies for lack of a second, no discussion. Let's move on to the next topic. And that really makes it short. But it also stifles the board because sometimes things come up. The agenda item is talking about buying coffee for the meeting, and somebody says, you know, this deal about buying coffee, there's sugar and there's cream, and there's all this expense we have to go through, and somebody has to deliver it, it has to stay hot, and I'm not sure it's a good idea or not a good idea, and you banter back and forth for half an hour, 45 minutes trying to figure out, is coffee a good thing? Somebody, one of you board members, ought to say, I'm going to put an end to this discussion. I make a motion that we buy coffee for the meeting. And then you nudge your board member next to you, I need a second. Get the second on the table. Okay, we have a motion and a second to buy coffee for the meeting. Is there any further discussion? And that pretty well, most you board members understand that what we're saying is, come on, let's knock this off. Let's get this discussion quieted down. Let's get this to a vote. Are we going to buy coffee or aren't we going to buy coffee? And you vote on the issue. So there is a way to close it, and making that motion helps it helps remind your fellow board members it's time for an answer. Now, I'm the guy that says, if a topic's on the agenda item says we're going to buy coffee for the meeting, and I look around the room, okay, there's an item here about buying coffee for the meeting. Are you all in agreement about buying coffee for the meeting? And I see you all nod your heads. Yeah, we're all ready to buy coffee for the meeting. Great. I'll have the minutes reflect that you've agreed to buy coffee for the meeting and record that in the minutes, and let's move on to the next topic. If I look at the board members at the table, and one of them is going, I'm not sure I like that. They don't say anything, but you can tell by their expression they're just not comfortable. I nudge the president and say, call for a motion. I want to see a vote on this because I see one of our board members here is not comfortable with the conversation about the topic. And so I really want to reach out to all the board members at my table to make sure all of them had a chance to share their information, and that the one that I saw that looked like they weren't in agreement gets a chance to tell us, what is it you're not in agreement with here? So that to get those discussions on the table, it does two things. It helps the rest of the board members see the counterpoint if there is one, but it also helps your homeowners who are observing the meeting see that you've really been open to listening to all points of the conversation. But making the motion in the end is the best way to get that thing resolved.